Janice Miller's childhood was not easy. Her father fell into a deep depression and took refuge in alcohol. This caused her parents to make the difficult decision to separate. They had been very happy, but the situation was completely untenable. Despite everything, Janice loved her father very much, and often she tried in every way to make him smile. Her mother constantly told her to stop trying. She wanted to take her away from him. And that conversation was repeated one afternoon while she went to his house. Her mother told her that he was bitter, that she should leave him alone and not waste her time with him. But the girl insisted she didn't want to leave him alone because she knew that something bad would happen to him. That morning, Janice went to her father's house desperate to see him. But when she entered the dining room, she could only let out a cry of terror, a cry drowned out by anguish and fear. Her father, whom she loved dearly, was hanging from the fan with a rope around his neck. Her mother, hearing the little girl's screams, quickly ran to the other room and saw with her own eyes the terrible scene. She didn't hesitate for a second and called the police. While they didn't come, she hugged her daughter, who at only 6 years old had experienced something terrible. The authorities said it was a voluntary death, but Janice didn't buy it. She thought there was something else behind her father's death. This led her to, for years, investigate similar cases, collect newspapers related to the subject, and be attentive to any new leads. That situation, from when she was a girl until she became a full woman. She was awarded a scholarship and graduated with a degree in psychology from a prestigious university. She received several awards for her work, so at 23, she was already practicing as a psychologist. She loved helping people, from people with depression to others who just wanted to get over their shyness. In addition, she gave talks to students to motivate them to find their way. And one afternoon, in the middle of her hectic routine, she received a visit from an old acquaintance. It was Mrs. Stevenson, a medium she had befriended in college. She warned her that she had something serious to tell her. They sat over a cup of coffee, and Stevenson told her that she had had a vision about her father. He hadn't killed himself. She told her that there was something else behind his death, something that was not earthly. A kind of vengeful entity that sought sadness and loneliness to feed and become strong. Then the medium was going to say the name of that creature, but she couldn't. She began to cough blatantly, and in a few seconds, she fell to the ground, dead. Janice went completely white and cold. She tried to stay on her feet, but that had been too strong. Suddenly, everything around her turned, and a strange breeze ran through the room. In a few seconds, she ended up lying on the ground, unconscious. Days later, already recovered, she learned the result of her friend's autopsy. She had died of suffocation. That didn't make any sense, so she began to investigate again, but she found practically nothing. A few days later, while she was on her way home, a man approached her near a park. He looked really bad, so Janice started running, but she couldn't escape. Police found the body a short time later and took it to the morgue. They had also arrested a suspect. But surprisingly, this was not the end for Janice. When she opened her eyes, she was in the living room of her house. She had the feeling that she was floating and her psyche had changed slightly. She went outside to explore everything. And while she was wandering, she found something in an alley that caught her attention. It was a man completely dressed in black, and from him came some golden threads that were attacking a woman. Seeing him, she knew. He was responsible for the death of her father and her friend. She had no doubts. Then anger took over her. She was not going to allow more people to die. Since then, she calls herself the Happy Puppet and uses her silver threads to help sad people. She's very kind to children and teenagers and tries to save all possible victims of the puppeteer. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!